Hi UX pros, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've not been active for some time now, right? But guess what? I'm back, right? So let's get this trashed out. Now, a question was asked in the pro group that this particular design and all of the animations that are contained within it, did I do everything? Was I able to achieve everything with Figma? And the answer to that question was is yes. Okay, and I'm going to teach you how I was able to do all of that. Okay, and after this video I probably will do another video on how to design a landing page, because it came to my notice that some pro members are struggling with designing landing page, right? I don't want to mention names, of course, but then again it came to my notice. So I'm going to run you through this, and then we'll break it down one after the other. Then you see this first animation, it's just a between page animation, right? That's what this is, right? So you see this one here, it's a page animation using smart animate. I'm going to explain that in a bit, right? So you just pay attention. Then there is this one here, this section. This is a very simple animation, right? Just forget this one. This is like the previous video I tried explaining it and it just got bad. Then I'm going to explain it again, but then pay attention to what you see here right now. Right, I'm going to explain that. What you see here is a combination between smart animate and instant, and then just I was able to adjust my size. So you see some are zooming in, some are going up, another is coming up, right? So you see, and then there is this one here, very simple animation. It makes people feel a bit cringe because it's looking like a ribbon or something, but then I'm going to show you how I was able to achieve it. And then there's one more, I think two more. This is just horizontal scroll. I probably would explain that also. And then there's frequently asked questions. So you see the good thing here, or the details here, is you pay attention to the plus. You see, sorry, you see the way how the plus is like, you see, it's just folding together and then opening up back. Then there's this our partner, this automatic on scroll animation, and then that's about it. Let me explain it to you guys. So firstly, say probably just say it is easy. I can do it because it's actually easy and you can actually do it. The first animation you saw, I told you it's a between page animation. So I'm going to I click on my frame, right, and I press enter. It selects every single element, child element to that frame. That's something probably you could pick up. That's a pro tip, right? So, and I change my appearance back to what 100 percentage. All right. So if I bring it back to 100, you see everything comes back up. The reason it was in 0% is because obviously you get to see when I press my R, which is like reload, you see the way it fades in. That fading in is as a result of the 0% opacity you see right here. Okay, so take it back to 100, and then you again pay attention to some other things. You can see like some things are cutting away and the likes. You see, there's one other element here that is just pushed to the left, and that's because I intentionally displaced this because I'm making use of what smart animate. So if you know how smart animate works, is that it kind of like finds similar layer and what they call metadata to layers, and then it smartly know how that layer is moving, right? So in terms of interactions like this, it just helps you if you displace it up, and then maybe the next frame where it's going to appear is being brought down, it will detect and know that okay, and then it will automatically bring it down. Hence why I displayed it. You see now without the zero opacity, you see how it's just fading in. So that opacity makes it smooth, really smooth. You get me? So again, how I did this was I clicked on the as I was done designing, it was the last thing I did really. So I just focused on designing. These are like just extra terrain, I call it. So like after I'm done designing, I duplicate the page, right? And then I just cut through and just because I don't need the rest of the other content, right? Okay, so after I did that, I clicked on, I'm going to minus this, I'll do it from scratch. I just drag my wire to the next screen. Now you see, it's not on tap. I just press R now. It's not on tap. Remember, it automatically worked itself. I didn't need to click anything, but now it's on tap. I have to tap for it to happen. And you see, even when I tap, it snaps, right? That's because this here is set to tap. That's why I needed to tap. And this here is set to instant. That's why it was not smartly transitioning. You get me? It wasn't smartly animating. It was not detecting all of those layers and then, creating a continuous experience. So if I please put it on smart, now remember this delay is on 800 milliseconds. We need not it to be that. We do not need it to be that. Right? So I refresh. You see the delay, right? So we probably take that to just 1 milliseconds, which is like the least, right? And then if I press R now, you see how it just happens, right? Something else we need to do. You see the way it's fast. We do not need it to be that fast. Probably we need to increase this to maybe 1,200. Okay, so bear in mind there's so many curve types you can play with. There is ease out, which is like the default, and just it just moves. You see, that's like the default. You can use that, make it bouncy and all of that. But then after you're done with all of this, you take your opacity back to what? Zero. So I click on the frame, press my enter and make it back to zero. So you see, now we have something like this. Now we got to help us into the next section. Now the next section is where you have this animation playing around. I'm going to delete this because I'm going to have to explain it again from scratch. Now we're going to take this two here. All right, I'll copy it and I'll take it outside because probably I need to do it from scratch, right? For people who want to guess how I did it, right? So for the pro guys, this is what I did. Now, of course, these elements exist here and it is small. Remember, we are using smart animates. So if it is small, if it becomes bigger here, meaning any smart animate that transcends from this variant to this variant, then it becomes bigger. So of course, zero opacity, just similar logic to what we did earlier, to what I explained earlier. And then smart animate is coming from here, and then from here to up is instant. Obviously, you get to see it here like so. But then for people who do not understand it, let's do this from scratch. I'm just going to break this. I'm going to turn this. So how I detach my instance. Again, when you have a component like this, these are components. Anything you do here affects anywhere it's an instance, any of the instances anywhere, right? So when what I have here is an instance of this you see here, but then you can detach an instance, right? You can detach it. So it's standalone now. It's just normal now. I'm going to click on both of them, press my enter to select every child element and then increase the opacity to 100, right? Now I'm going to bring this guy just to the middle so you understand completely what my thought process was, right? So you see this guy here, this same guy here, right? Just a semi centralized. Now you see these two. This is how I had it before, and I was like, it was too boring. Let me give you more life. So I'll explain to you how the entire thing goes, right? So what I thought of was, okay, turn this into a component. Okay? Don't just leave it a component. Create a what? A variant. You see that? Okay, after you've created a variant, ladies and gentlemen, you will understand that you need to make this smaller, right? Why? Because I want it to be that the kind of animation I want to do, if it gets here, it becomes bigger. Now I'm going to do the animation. Ladies and gentlemen, remember what I explained earlier, you can't use on tap because on tap you need to make an action. But we don't have to. We're setting it to after delay. After a specific amount of time, just trigger yourself. But then as it's just going to be 1 milliseconds, we don't need it to do that. Right? It's something that I'm going to explain to you moving forward. So just pay close attention. All right. So you see, this 1,200 that is here is a lot. We do not need that. Probably we'll just keep it around 400. All right. So something like this. Right. And then, yeah. And then we're going to send it back again. Remember, from here it's coming down. From here, it needs to go back. Right. And this time we'll also set it after delay. How many seconds? 0 milliseconds. Right. Meaning that you don't need to wait before you transition. Do you get? I already explained this thing in our previous video. I think I posted a video on YouTube. The difference between delay and duration is delay is the amount of time you wait before animation is triggered. While duration is when that animation is triggered, how long does it move? Right? I made an example, a very clear illustration. If somebody slaps me, right, the amount of time I delay before I react is what after delay timing is, right? While reacting, how fast I was while reacting, or I am while reacting, is what, like, so it is either you slap me, the amount of time I wait is the delay. Oh my God, my camera is not on. Probably you'd see me illustrating. Actually, thought my camera was on, right? So, for example, right, you slap me, okay? The amount of time I wait, okay, before responding is the delay timing, right? So now for the duration, when I then react, you see, it is either my punch goes slow or my punch goes fast. You see, now that's what duration is. Delay is you wait and then you get it's the amount of time you wait. You could choose to, as the slap is coming or the punch is coming to you, you are responding immediately. Now it means that your delay time is 1 millisecond. Do you get? So watch it again and understand. All right. So then I'm going to send it back with no delay, right? But then also this year is not going to be smarter limits, and I'll tell you why. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Let me. So this guy here right now, I'm going to hold my Alt key, which is going to turn my icon into this, and then I can drag it out like this. Another way you could do is just copy it and paste it outside. Sorry, you, okay, it's pasting it inside for me. I don't want that. So anyway, just hold your Alt key and drag outside, or you go to somewhere in your asset. This is frame 71, right? So just find for frame 71, drag it out. Do you get? So I'm trying to see if I can play this guy specifically. I need to wrap this around the frame so you can see what I'm referring to. So um so so you see, guys, I need to remove that. I'll go to my prototype. I'll remove the Surface Pro for now to no device. Probably because I want to zoom in this guy. I really want to zoom in. I want you guys to see it extra 100%. How do I zoom in? Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, this is good. So now you can see, right? So I had to set it to actual 100%, then I can zoom in. Right, so now you can see the way it's beeping, 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 beeping. But then you see the actual landing page. Let me show you. In the landing page, this is what you have going on here. You see? You see? It blinks, it going, blinks, going. Right. Now, I'll tell you the difference. Now, just pay attention. Oh. You see this guy going back here? It need not to be on smart animates. It's supposed to just be snap. That's all. That's all. It's supposed to be instant, like no timing, nothing. Just go back instantly. So you see, now we have it. Do you see? Now we have it. But then there's one more thing. The origination is supposed to start with zero opacity. But obviously you can see that this guy is very his eye is very open. So just turn off the light. So we'll just turn off the opacity, and then you can see the subtle transition. Now the speed, of course, might be too much. The pace, right, while coming in might be too much. So you just increase it to 700 maybe, right? Then probably you just I refresh it. Not here, not here, not here. Yeah, refresh it so I can play it now. So you see? Hmm. What's going on? It's 700 milliseconds. I think I need to refresh it again. So just hold on, guys. Oh, I need to play this game manually. I don't know why it's not working. I need to add like a flow point or something. Actually do. I think I might need to refresh here since I actually touched the transition. So whenever your transition is not working, guys, just refresh. Now you see? Okay? Sweet. Sweet. Somebody say sweet. All right. All right. So we're done with that, right? Move on to the next. Let's move on to the next. Same thing for the other one here, guys. This particular one gone, we'll turn it into a what? A component. You ask me why I got my image from icon scout. Simple. I click on variant. When you turn it into a component, it is a component. You click on plus, right? To add a variant, meaning same thing, but just a different, like, you know what a variant is now? The way we have COVID and then metamorphosed into something else, like a variant. It's still COVID, but a variant of COVID and the likes. So same thing with component, right? So now you see, same thing that happened to this guy will happen to this guy. You see, he went down, right? This guy was small, right? This one now has to go down with zero opacity. Simple, simple logic. Then this guy, you connect it here, it's not on click. It needs to be after delay, right? Now the timing now has to be like around, yeah, around 400 milliseconds. And I'll tell you why. If you pay attention to the original design, which is this guy here, you pay attention to how what's going on. Sorry, I don't know what's going on, but then it's not scrolling. I'm probably not scrolling because it's on actual 100%. Could just put it to fit width and you should scroll. All right. So now if you pay attention to this section, you get to see first, second, third. See first, second, third. First, second, third. They are not all transition coming out at the same time. So now this is like a use case for the delay. Then you're allowed to delay it maybe by 400 milliseconds. Allow the guy to come out, then you come out, then the next could be maybe 700 or 800 milliseconds. You see that? Now, transition from here, obviously, you got to be smart animate. All right. Then from smart animate, what else? From smart animate, 700 milliseconds, perfect. Then we need to send it back. And then instead of smart animate, we use instant, right? And you need not to be on click, it should be on afterwards. Delay, change 800 milliseconds to 0. So if we copy this guy now and just paste it here, I use Ctrl Shift R to replace it. You could right click and just paste to replace or something. Then you see what we have now. Let me go to the frame, and you see, simple. That's all you need to know about it, to be honest. Let me zoom in for you so you see it. It's actually cool, right? I could have said like probably make it pass through and then come out again. But then this is actually cool. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that's about that. Then the next, use the same logic and you should be good. Then this guy here, how did you achieve it? I'm not gonna do that from scratch. I probably will just explain it for you, right? So obviously, I have these two as components. The reason I had these both as components because I also wanted to try something out. Let me say fit width. I also wanted to try something out. So if I scroll somewhere around here, you see on hover, the animation is almost changing, but then it wasn't working out as much as I wanted to. So you don't need to worry about that, right? So what I did here was simple. Now think about it this way. I copied this. Sorry, think about it this way, right? Created this, right? Then I duplicated it, right? After you duplicate it to the amount of the size of the frame of the actual frame. Now look at, let me open my grid. I was actually working with grid. I don't know what happened. But then the idea is Take this for example. Now you see there's like there's like a space here, 124 left and right, right? So what I did was simple. I just duplicated it to at least a reasonable amount, right? And then um a lot of it, I duplicated a lot of it, right? You might be wondering why now, but then pay attention. I then auto layout it. I already explained that. Let's start again because the way I'm looking at it, some of you would know would get lost. Now imagine this. This does not even need to be a component. I was because of what I was trying to explore. So I'll just detach it. It does not need to be a component. The only reason it might need to be a component is because you might need to change, like might need to change the style. So changing the style, you don't want to do them individually, right? I mean, as much you can just mark select them, but then it's only safe when it's component, right? So I'll probably just detach this one for example's sake, and then duplicate it as many as possible, highlight it, turn it into an auto layout. I'll go further, I even keep on duplicating it, and I'll explain to you why. Okay, that might be too much, but then let's just say this for example, right? And then I'll just close it up to somewhere around here. Remember our frame size is 1440. So let's just close it somewhere around here. And remember, we can clip content. Clip content is saying that there are still other content too, but we're limiting it to your parent auto layout box because remember we draw them in, right? So yeah, we now have this. Remember, this cannot work if your child elements inside are not set to either hug or fixed. If it's on field, you see it's being fluid. You don't want that, right? So then let's leave it like this, right? Then we'll turn this into clip this, right? We'll turn this into a what component, right? When you turn this into a component, simple, add variant again. Remember, we use auto layout for this, so it's even very simple. Do you know that there is align left and then there is align right? It's currently aligned to the left. Just come to the other one and say align right. That's all. That's all. And then after you are done, same logic I taught you guys. After delay, smart animate, then send it back. After delay, what? Smart animate. After delay, smart animate. 0 second. 1 millisecond. Then this year I set this here to around like 10,000 milliseconds. I want it to not rush, to not be too fast, right? So if I copy this now and I paste it anywhere around in the page, let's say I paste it somewhere around here, right? So if I press my R in my keyboard and scroll down, you see, now you see that it's not hitting the exit entirely, right? You can click on this instance and just, you see, you get to say click contents, remove it. You see? That's all. You don't have to stress. Same logic I just taught you with this guy here is also the same logic I applied to this. So you do it back and what? Forth. 10 seconds coming, 10,000 seconds coming, 10,000 seconds going back. It's simple, right? Then I think that's about it. And then what else? I think then for this guy here, it's simple now. This one is you get to see the interaction. If I hover, it fades, and then if I click, it comes off. So this is a bit logical, right? So pay attention to this one. Now, if you look at this guy here, gone, 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 you realize that there's an interaction on it, and that interaction is it's not on tap, it's on hover. So why I hover on it? So you see that fade. That's what's happening here, right? Now, on click from here now, so you see there's two interaction here. There's mouse leave and then there's mouse click. Look at when I click on this, if I remove my mouse, it goes back to the normal state. You see, that's why we have the mouse leave. The moment my mouse leaves, it returns back to the what? To the previous state. You see, and the moment my mouse click, it goes back to the down state. Smart. Okay. Now you might be wondering for this plus and minus, how did I do it? Simple. Don't use a component there. Yes. The reason is you see, I just use a normal line, a grouped line, right? I use a line. When it got to the other side, I rotated it. That's all. That's all, to be honest. Okay. This guy here, same logic to same logic now. And then for this guy here, it's simple. If I show you the landing page, you get to realize that, oh, okay, cool. This guy is, of course, I'm using auto layout, but then you figure that if I go to my prototype, there is overflow, horizontal scroll. Just horizontal for the overflow. You see? That's all. Provided it is overflowing, provided that it is overflowing, like to this point, right? It will allow me to set this parameter to horizontal. You see that? So that's all. So guys, we're gonna catch up later. So I'll drop a class later on landing page, and then we can discuss even further. Thank you very much. Let me know if you do need the Figma file. Probably will drop it on the chat.